sludge.
So we're not on the orange one?
You are on the orange door.
We are.
Yep.
Thank you.
The signs actually face outside. Do not be alarmed if it says city tour or anything else. They are orange on the outside, saying back bay tour. This is about a 30-minute long tour. And we'll come right back to stop 7. Stop 7, you can either jump on the city tour again, jump on the orange tour again, or do what you want. To the left, we got the Boston Park Plaza Hotel. Very famous hotel here in Boston. It's been open since 1927. Since 1927, all but 2 U.S. presidents have stayed here. Barack Obama and George W. Bush are the only ones not to stay here. Just be careful when you do that. Use the middle strap. Don't worry about the side ones.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Hold it up.
I got it.
You gotta roll it up pretty good.
Yep.
Strap it in.
I got it.
Nice and tight. So, Boston Park Plaza next to us, like I said, opened up in 1927. And every U.S. president has stayed here except for Barack Obama and George W. Bush. Now, Donald Trump has not stayed here as president, but he has stayed here several times. Back in 2007, he actually tried to buy Boston Park Plaza. He tried to add it to his collection. You guys good? It's hard to dredge the morning. Some people don't like the cold air. That Boston Park Plaza on the 14th floor actually had a full, complete hospital with nose and throat doctors there as well. The barber shop down below was the largest barber shop in all of New England at the time. So when you're on the city tour, they tell you anything about the Back Bay? No. Well, the Back Bay was the ocean. Between the Boston Common and the Public Garden, Charles Street, basically where you got off the trolley, that's where the shoreline was at one time. So all of this was the ocean.
Really?
It's hard to believe, but it was. So they filled in just under 600 acres of, they created 600 acres of land just in the Back Bay area alone. Started off, where we'll be turning left up ahead will be Beacon Street. As we're driving down Beacon Street, you'll notice it's a straight line. But before we get there, this is Newbury Street.
We'll see.
Newbury Street is like Rodeo Drive, similar to Fifth Avenue in New York. It has just over 300 stores. Men's clothing, women's clothing, jewelry, salons, all you name it, they got it. So they built the dam in 1818. They called it the Old Mill Dam. It was built to generate electricity for some mills in the area. But what it did was it separated Seaport District, they added just over 1,000 acres to create Seaport District. So this is Beacon Street, most famous street here in Boston, also the most expensive. You'll notice this goes in a straight line. We are driving over that old mill dam. The old mill dam is still constructed, it's just underneath us right now at the moment. They filled it in and created this. My train car, 35 train cars arriving every 45 minutes. They did so 24/7 a day, 364 days out of the year. For 40.5 years, this went on. So from 1858 to about 1900. You want to know how expensive some of these homes are?
Sure.
Number 56, all the way back, it's covered over, wrapped up. You'll see it when you continue on to do the city tours, stops 8 and 9. It'll be on your left, number 56. Recently sold for $31 million. You look for number 310 on the right, it'll be up a little ways, it'll be white. The penthouse sold for $9.5 million back in 2012. That was Tom Brady's penthouse when he lived here, when he was quarterback for the New England Patriots.
Who?
Tom Brady.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him, right? Well, if you grew up with the Patriots like I did back in the 80s and stuff, it was good to see them winning game after game after game. Championship after championship.
They broke a lot of
Because they broke so many hearts in the 70s and 80s. It was tough to be a New England fan. You had to root for somebody else. I actually used to root for Kansas City, you know, the Chiefs. So where you see a door, everything going above that door, like here on the left, that's one single family mansion going all the way up. Same like here, one single family going up. Now, they're not all single families anymore, but when they were built, every single one of them was a single family mansion. And they're also called brownstones. Brownstone is actually how these homes get their name. They're made from a sandstone that's found abundant in the Connecticut River Valley. That sandstone is very porous, but wicked easy to carve, a lot easier than granite. So that's what they made these buildings with, out of the sandstone. Now, like I said, it's very porous. So after a few years, the salt air would get to them, and you can literally wipe your hand across the buildings, and you'd have grains of sand all in your hand. So to preserve it, to make it last longer, they painted them. And at the time, brown paint was the cheapest, and so that's how they got the name brownstones. Did you guys see 310 back there?
Yes.
Now, look to the right. This one's not a good one. Either way, where the vehicles are, there's a greenway on the other side. They call that the Esplanade. If you notice, it went the whole length of Beacon Street here, followed us. The Esplanade is where they do the fireworks display. And then you get the Charles River in front of that. And the Boston Pops, they put on the 4th of July concert here, free for everyone. So if you're around this year, 4th of July, this is where you want to come down to. It's going to be a big spectacle with it being the 250th anniversary. On the right, you got this church back in 1978. It had a fire, bless you. It had a couldn't afford to repair it, they couldn't afford to replace it, so they sold it to a man named Graham Gunn. And he gutted it out and turned it into 2 condos. 2. The tower itself is 1 condo, the lower portion is another condo. Straight ahead, you can see the red triangle up in the sky, white signboard. That is the Citgo sign that you see when you're watching the Red Sox games. It's 60 feet by 60 feet, even though it doesn't look that big, but it does when you're right up on it. This is Mass Ave going left and right. To the right, we have the Harvard Bridge. Any idea where it goes to? No, it goes to MIT. I could tell you guys didn't go to Harvard. Well, back in 1958, a freshman pledging to a fraternity, he was tasked with finding a unique way to measure that bridge. And he couldn't use any existing measuring devices. No tape measures, no rulers, nothing with markings already on it. So his unique way was he lay down, they marked his feet, they marked his head. He stood up, moved over, laid back down, they marked his head. He stood up, moved over, laid back down, they marked his head. See where I'm going with this?
Yes.
Yeah, 364.4 times. The kid's name was Oliver Smoot. They call each measurement a smoot. A smoot is 67 inches, he was 5 feet 7. To this day, that happened in 1958, but to this day, those markings are still on the bridge. So, if there is a bicycle accident, 2 cyclists collide, and they collide at Smoot 184, you can tell the police or the ambulance, accident at Smoot 184, they will know exactly where to go.
Wow.
They repaint the markings every so many years just to keep them fresh. But if you were to walk the bridge, you would see all these numbers. You'd be like, what's going on here? And speaking of an Oliver Ames. Oliver Ames and family used to live right here in this house. Now, if you notice the architecture on it, it's done by a man named H.H. Richardson. We'll talk about him again later. But if you look between the first and second floor, it's very unique. Beautiful looking architecture on it. Oliver Ames got his family made their wealth by manufacturing shovels. You can go to Home Depot today and buy one of their shovels. It's called an Ames shovel, A-M-E-S. They started doing that in 1797. They've been doing it ever since. So that's a long time when you think about it.
Yeah.
And just from shovels. But this sold a couple years back for $22 million. Not too bad. Not too shabby. Now you've heard of the Boston Marathon, right? Well, the night before the running of the marathon, the runners all load up on carbohydrates. Usually pasta and everything else they can get. This hotel right here, the Elliott Hotel on the corner, they're the ones who started that tradition. And they still do it. The only problem is the marathon has grown and grown and grown. So now 12 hotels offer free meals to the runners the day before, instead of just the one. Pretty nice of them, you know. To the left, right on the corner, Berkeley College of Music. It is the largest independent college of contemporary music in the world. It started out in 1945. It has many alumni from there, thousands of them. But if you were to combine just 141 of them, between the 141, they have 310 Grammy Awards and 108 Latin Grammys among them. So it's pretty good. This school, right here in the corner, it is harder to get into than it is to get into MIT and Harvard. They only accept roughly 28% of the applicants. Not only do you have to have outstanding grades and give an interview, you also have to perform a live audition. I'll say that again, you have to perform a live audition to get in. See the building in the middle, the tall one to the left, it says Prudential at the top. You can go up to the top. They have a 360-degree observatory. And you can see all around Massachusetts. You'll see the Cape and the Islands.
Is that why you don't get a window to see?
If you decide to do something that crazy, see one of our sales reps, and they'll get you tickets that are much cheaper. It's $38 to go to the top, but through us you can go up to the top for $22. Top 10 is just around the corner. But if you look over here to the left where it says Dylan's Restaurant and Bar, that Dylan's used to be a former police station. It says so on the top, Police Department, Division 16. And then you get the fire department just after it on the left with the American flag rolled up. They were the first combined police and fire department unit in the entire country. The black that you see where it says Dylan's Restaurant and Bar in front, those were doors at one time. They were doors to the horse carriages. The horses themselves used to be in the stable, which was the middle arch. The middle arch has nothing on it, it's a little smaller. And it's kind of fitting that the Boston Architectural College is now in between it, especially when you look at the architecture of that building. Very unique. This will be stop 10 if anyone's getting out. Please watch the step behind me, use the handrails. Oh, we gotta get out of here before these people get over here. I think they want to get on the trolley. Kidding. Hold up, keep getting out.
Same time.
You guys have a good day. Thank you.
7 o'clock. Well, it doesn't work out.
It's in the same place every year, Nebraska. Yes. Yep.
Really?
Goes there every year. Well, for now.
That comes out. This is the
I'm planning on going next Sunday.
You're good. You're good.
Thank you.
Thank you. On my way home, I have a 37 day
Makes more sense. 40 secondo del meglio.
What's that? No.
plan on going to the baseball game on Sunday. We get off the boat on Saturday. Plan on the next day.
We used to go to Harvard.
This is after 7.
better. She said she owed it all to the power of healing through the Bible. And that's how she created Christian Science. In the back, you can't see it because the trees are blocking it, but the winter time you can see it plain as day. There's a big church in the back, they call it the Mother Church. It's got a big giant dome on it. Next to it's a library, the Mary Baker Eddy Library. In that library is a unique attraction. They call it the Maparium. The Maparium is a 30-foot stained glass globe. A globe from 1935. And you actually walk inside of it, and it lights up, and it's a map of the world back in 1935. A unique perspective on it, something different. And behind us we have the Museum of Fine Arts. We have another museum of art back there called the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. We'll talk about her in a bit. This is stop 11. Stop 12 will be just after the light.
How many is there?
Excuse me once again. Stop 11. I have 32. There, everybody's getting So the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. Isabella Stewart Gardner died in 1924. She was an extremely wealthy woman when she passed away. Her wishes was to turn her villa into a museum. They did exactly that. But throughout her life, she collected a lot of expensive art and some inexpensive art as well. Her taste varied. Well, you may have heard about this Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. Back in 1995, there was a robbery there. Two men dressed as police officers knocked on the doors, said something wrong with the silent alarm. They went in and check it. They manhandled the two guards that were on duty. And they tied them up. And within a matter of 90 minutes, the two men stole 13 works of art valued at just over $500 million today. Right? Well, 5 of those works of art were 1 inch by 1 inch little paintings, barely valued at $100,000 in today's money. It's the other works of art they stole that were expensive. And not only that, they left a lot of very expensive art as well. So they believe, the cops do, that they had a certain list of certain works of art that they were there to collect. And that's exactly what they took. See the vehicles to our left? They look a little weird. Those are what we call duck boats. We think they're a bunch of quacks. They think they're special because their vehicles go in and out of the water all day long. Well, we can go in the water too. Once. They give tours, like I said, but they have a driver and a narrator. We do it all here. So we're considered fine dining, they're considered fast food. But they're actually good guys. We just like messing with each other. Place. You got Copley Square. There's Copley Plaza on the corner. Around the corner to our left will be the Copley Fairmont. They're all from one guy, John Singleton Copley. He was a great, one of the greatest artists we ever had, especially in the colonial days. One of the first. He did just over 350 portraits. Well, he ended up having his heart elsewhere. He was born in Boston, raised in Boston, but he was a loyalist to the British Crown. So he ended up moving to England. And when he did, he left all of his artwork here in Boston. Most of it's at the Museum of Fine Arts. Some's at the Boston Athenaeum. Boston Athenaeum is a subscription library. Some is even at this library over here with all the flags on it. That is the Boston Public Library. It's the largest free-lended library in the country. They have just over 8 million books. They get about 4 million visitors a year. You can go there with your ID card, you can get a library card, and you can check out a book.
That's nice.
They even have a bar there where you can have a drink. To the right, you got the Trinity Church, voted one of the 10 best churches in the entire world. Also created by the man I mentioned earlier, H.H. Richardson. He has his own architectural style. They call it Richardson Romanesque. It's very distinct. They have one of the largest organs you will ever see in a church at the Trinity Church. And they are open for service on the weekends.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
That's kind
Welcome aboard.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Do you want this?
I do. You do.
Good enough?
Good enough.
Forgot
Just
that.
watch your step.
Yep. See it. Here, let's sit in front. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, you can't sit in front.
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
Why not?
You can sit where you want.
We don't want your seat.
No,
No.
nobody wants to see
You're
her.
the professional.
The cruise loading is fun. So
I've been doing this less than 20 days, so
You're really good.
thank you, thank you. If you get a chance to go to the public garden and see the duckling statues, here you have a tortoise and a hare. They're made by the same designer, Nancy Shawn. Now, hard for you ladies to see, but you gotta turn around. When we go through this intersection, look at the skyscraper to your right, the big windows on it. Big tall one there. See all the windows?
Yep.
Those windows, a lot bigger than they look, a lot heavier. The building itself is John Hancock Tower, but John Hancock moved out of it. They were an insurance agency. Now they just call it by the address, 200 Clarendon. It was constructed in 1976, but they had a big snafu back in 1973 while it was still under construction. That snafu, the windows just started popping out, twisting out. That's because the windows, they expand and contract due to the weather, temperature, and whatnot, and the frames they were set in had no room, no give and take, no play. So the windows just started popping out. About 63 windows popped out, one by one. Nobody got injured. Like I said, it was still a construction site. Well, they had to replace all the windows. In total, 10,354 windows. When they did start replacing it, they put plywood over the whole thing. People were calling it the Plywood Palace. To the left, if you're in the area when the lights are on, you'll look at these windows, you'll see the beautiful stained glass. The stained glass itself was designed by a member of Tiffany and Company, actually the son, Louis Comfort Tiffany. He was supposed to design 18 windows. He only designed 16 because he died while he was doing them. That Arlington Street Church is where they had the first same-sex marriage back in May of 2004. Actually, this past Sunday was the anniversary of it. And when they filled all this area in, that church was the first structure they put up. supposed to park where that car and that truck is. This is gonna be a pain in the butt.
Well, we just watched the fire department try and get by a guy who was not even in his car,
Well,
potty trick.
that happens quite a bit. You'll sit here, honk on the horn, beep, and there'll be nobody in the vehicle.
Yeah. Whatever step. Yes.
You guys, anybody looking to get on the city tour?
We're gonna get on the city.
There's one right here, but they may be full by the time you get out.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting you know, you may have to wait for the next one.
Se digitiamo il giro, lo rifacciamo. E
Well,
poi
so
cambiamo.
Tell us.
If you guys like my tour, again, my name is Fudge. You go on TripAdvisor, Old Town Trolley, Boston, leave a review. It would help me a lot in my career.
Cambiamo il giro, lo
Or you can
rifacciamo.
fill out a guest card, comment card here, put it in the mailbox.
Qua e poi
And if you didn't like my tour, my name is Steven.
attuale. Finire questo qua.
Sì. Perché è questo che non...
Questo è uno dei